Youth Over Guns was founded in 2018 amidst the national reckoning with gun violence prevention. We really analyzed what young people of color specifically were experiencing, and out of response, organized a major demonstration across the Brooklyn Bridge in which we carried a casket as a demonstration that young people, particularly young people's bodies, are being lost every day, not just in one community, but across communities. Youth Over Guns later became an organization in which myself and many other young people across New York and the country at large really organized to interrupt and prevent gun violence in our local communities. We really want to focus on gun violence as a public health crisis and less as a criminal justice issue. And though all of these things intersect, there's so much more that we can be doing in our local communities to address gun violence as a health issue, to truly solve it, rather than being reactionary and just responding with legal systems that have failed our communities over and over again. Young people, from the very moment of incarceration, from the very moment of gang initiation, from the very moment of being impacted by gun violence, their entire life is disrupted in a way that can lead to not just them being killed, not just them being a victim of gun violence, but also them being a perpetrator of gun violence. And so we analyze these systems. What are the root causes of this gun violence? What are the very first moments that young people had an encounter that led to them being shot? What are the very first moments of gun violence that led this young person to pick up a gun and shoot someone? It starts with unemployment. It starts with lack of access to quality education that Black and brown communities are experiencing in our country. Hurt people hurt people. Young people who are caught stealing out of supermarkets, who perform armed robbery to get food or get resources or get supplies for their homes. That shouldn't be a necessity. Folks shouldn't have to play Hunger Games to bring food to their table. Folks shouldn't have to kill one another to have a warm coat for winter. Those are things that should be accessible to us. They also fear for their lives on an everyday basis. And sometimes that fear is so inevitable, that fear is surmounting in a way that forces them to do whatever they have to do to make sure that they're safe, that they're making it home that night, that they make it home to their children, right? And so a lot of people pick up guns. They go and they buy them illegally because they're just that easy to do. It becomes an opportunity to obtain some self-control, to obtain some semblance of security for themselves. For young people who are showing up every day in their life angry about their experiences, angry about what's happening in our country, angry at the fact that their brother was killed and they don't have any answers, they don't know who did it. These are the experiences that young people are carrying into the streets every day. And for as long as they're carrying those experiences, we're gonna continue to see that cycle perpetuate itself. And we're addressing it all through policy, through programs, through funding, through resources, and through building up young leaders who deserve the resources, who deserve the investment, and really not just organizing and advocacy, but largely to prevent gun violence in their local communities. My hope is that a Youth Over Guns and all of the partners that we work with don't have to exist one day, because gun violence is a thought, an experience, a trauma of the past that we have let go, and not something that we have to live through on an everyday basis. And so ultimately I do this work because it's personal, because it hurts me, because it pains me, and it's something that I can't get over. There's so many ways, so many advocates, so many different perspectives on this issue, but more than anything, we all are committed to truly ending that violence, that perpetual trauma that we're all having to endure. And it has nothing to do with the legality or the Constitution around the Second Amendment. It has nothing to do with the politics of it all. It has nothing to do with the special interest, and has everything to do with life, everything to do with health, everything to do with making sure that young people are able to wake up every day and not worry about being shot and killed in their schools, not worry about being shot and killed on their commute home from school. Gun violence and bullets don't have a name. They don't discriminate. And all of our lives are under attack for as long as we continue to allow these perpetual cycles of violence to exist. We truly want to bring solutions. We truly want to address what's going on. And if that requires us being vocal, if that requires us showing up as it has for the past couple of decades, we're gonna do it. And we're gonna do it every chance we get.